Hi, my name is Emmanuel. I'm a local artist based in Worcester.
I'm Kat O'Connor. I'm an artist living in Worcester, Massachusetts.
Well, my name is Susan Hong-Sammons. I live here in Central Massachusetts.
I'm really excited to participate in the Peaceable Kingdom project.
Lee Mengwe's collaborative project.
An installation of over 40 pieces of art.
In response to Edward Hicks' Peaceable Kingdom.
I found that very fascinating to connect with Kat and Susan. I paint with Susan more often in her studio. So I had observed, and we all teach in the same institution. So I thought it would be a great idea to connect her, let her contribute to this very interesting collaboration. And I had also known Kat in most exhibitions at Arch Worcester. So I contacted her and she was very interested in joining. And it was a very good idea of this collaborative element, because connecting with Lee Mengwe, even in the first place, talks about the nature of his work, because it's more collaborative. It gives people the way to interact and reassess the work in so many new ways. My work is all about symbolic portraiture, and I'm basically an assemblage artist working with found object as well. To start, I had to think about the actual work that is being inspired or to work on. So I looked at the piece and I began to think about what best way I could contribute to that. I started thinking about the thoughts of post-production by Nicolas Bourriaud. It talks about inspiration and appropriation, and what better way an artist takes hold of an artwork, tap it from the historical perspective and change it. And that was a better way to reassess myself as an artist. So basically I had to understand the collaborative impulse by watching one curator that talked about some of the previous paintings. And the person mentioned liberation. So I was thinking about what way I could make my work reflect the same idea. So also knowing the actual concept of Edward Hicks' painting, where the child, reflecting the messianic concept, where the child will lead lion, is a sign that the world is going to be at peace. But then also, the child is also an element of abstract, and it's a sign that if we have peace, then we have unity, then everyone has the liberation to express their voices. And I came across the idea that an artist could take anything, no matter where it comes from, and make it a new combination with whatever they're being inspired by. That idea of freedom is what inspires my work as an artist. And once you take hold of what someone has done, you have the possibility to also change it. And that is a way of, reanalyzing your role as an artist and giving people the way or different way to look at your work.
My work is typically figurative realism. I do a lot of images of figures in water and a lot of images of creatures in water. I was really interested in the way that Emmanuel structured his painting. He takes figures and gives them different heads, different qualities, different bodies, so that that they're figurative, but they're not traditionally figurative. So in mine, I wanted to incorporate animals and figures. Part of my belief in Peaceable Kingdom is that we have to respect other creatures, both those we can see and those we can't, and that's how we achieve peace, is to find respect for all creatures. So to be able to combine the woman and the cheetah and the child and the bobcat made sense to me, with also providing images of the sea. The ocean is really important to me. So you have a humpback whale in here, you have a white shark, and then you have some creatures who are both human and seal. And then of course, a little bit of a reference to the white whale in Moby Dick. These are all creatures that exist in my neighborhood or that I've seen. So you have deer, turkey, dogs, my dog, and then of course Edward Hicks' cheetah, which is not in my neighborhood, but part of that painting, and a bald eagle, which I see on a regular basis here in Worcester.
I paint all the time. If I'm not painting, I am sketching. I prefer to work from life, so 95% of my work is done from life, but there are those occasions where it's just not possible, like something like this. My favorite thing would be painting portraits, and I get different people off the street to model for me. So originally when I started, having looked at Hicks's piece before, I think the first time I saw Hicks's work was probably as an undergrad student in art history class. And seeing it again after so many years, the same feeling came back to me. You know, it's like, yeah, that's a great idea, but we're just not nice enough. I'm not talking about the animals, I'm talking about people in general. I don't know why it's hard for us, myself included, to be nice. If we were, we could have this great harmony in this world. So, but when I do look at them, those thoughts come to me, as well as that feeling of peace and harmony, a utopia, the perfect Garden of Eden kind of a thing. So when I started, the first 2 weeks, sketching around, laying out my ideas, I had a layout very similar to the original piece. Lots of animals, lots of people, a lot of movement going around because I wanted things, people and animals and wildlife to be integrated. But it never felt right to me. And I took kind of a break from it, and I realized I was trying to paint and compose more like Hicks. I'm not really a narrative painter. I don't usually do stories. I'm more about implying my thought or feelings than being too literal. So I went back to the drawing board and, well, what's my first thought when I think of this piece? And I think about the Bible reference about the lamb and the lion laying down together, and then that's how I came up with this idea. And if they could really snuggle together, that would be harmony. So that's where I went with it.
You're invited to come and look at what these great artists have put together to make this exhibition successful.
I'd love it if you looked at all of these paintings and thought about your own definition of peace and maybe what's happening in your part of the world.
It'll be here through February 1st, and I hope you can make it. Thank you.